Welcome everyone. In this video, I wanted to go over Starfield's new game plus, what it is, its rewards, and how to effectively speedrun it in about 3.5 to 4 hours. Since this video is about new game plus and the whole Starfield storyline, I do want to put out a spoiler warning to anybody who wants to avoid spoilers to please pause the video, shut it down, and come back whenever you're ready. So I'm going to give 5 seconds for those people to step away from the video to avoid any spoilers. So, what is New Game Plus? Basically, in Starfield, you're able to replay the whole game while carrying over your skills and your research. Those are the only two things that carry over from each playthrough. Let's talk about the rewards of New Game Plus. You get a Starborn spaceship, which upgrades the first 6 playthroughs. In addition, you get a Starborn space suit, which upgrades a maximum of 10 times. Also, you can upgrade your powers by visiting the temples a maximum of 10 times. Each of these increases To maximize the rewards from Starfield's New Game Plus, you have to do it 10 times, like I said. And each run is about 3.5 to 4 hours, which in total would mean 35 to 40 additional hours of just New Game Plus runs. So you definitely want to listen to these tips to help minimize the amount of time each of these New Game Plus runs take. So the name of the game is Speed. The only thing that carries over is skills. Therefore, nothing else that you gather or earn during each of the playthrough matters. So you want to keep moving and finish them as quickly as possible. So to begin each playthrough, you have to go to the lodge and talk to Sarah. Obviously, skip the main quest, or it's just hours and hours of missions that do not matter. Once you're done talking to Sarah, she'll give you some credits and a randomized gun. My first tip is to look at this gun before you leave New Atlantis and see if it's a good gun. A good gun, I consider one that is semi-automatic, so it doesn't consume a lot of ammo, and it hits really hard. So shotguns or rifles are my go-to. Since we're going to be speedrunning things, we're not going to be stopping a lot for ammo, so we can't be shooting a ton of bullets and constantly having to look for ammo. My second tip is to play all your new game runs on very easy difficulty. This is pretty obvious. By playing on very easy difficulty, you can run through all those dungeons, facilities, and caves while you search for all the artifacts. You can run past all the enemies since they don't have enough damage to kill you, and the ones that get in the way only take 1 or 2 bullets to kill. Later, during the final artifact mission, there is some ship combat. This combat can be quite challenging if you're not playing on very easy. You start the fight 3-on-1, and since you'll be using the Starborn ship, there's not a lot of damage and you can die quite easily. Again, if you die, all it does is waste time and you have to repeat until you finally win. So before you leave New Atlantis, there's a couple items that you can buy that's going to help you later on in your run. I would recommend buying more ammo, med packs, since you're just going to be running through enemies, you're going to take some damage. Also, some digipicks are going to come in handy on the mission. In addition, amp is going to help you move quicker when you're running into temples. Also, I would get some persuasion improvement consumables that will help you at the end of the Hunter and Emissary mission. Just keep all these in your inventory. Since we are just speedrunning a lot, your inventory shouldn't have to be dumped at all. We're not picking up that much. We're just going to keep running. So each new game run is divided into 2 sections, the artifact portion and then the temple portion. So to begin, you have to go to the Eye and talk to Vladimir to get all the artifact locations. Once you're done talking to him the first time, talk to him again and you'll get your first temple location. This is great because you're already there. You don't have to go back to him to get the first one. But I wouldn't go out of my way to do the temples until you have all the artifacts. If they're along your way, like if they're in the same system, there's no harm in doing a temple here and there. But I just focus on the artifacts to begin with, and then I switch over to temples. So once you gather the initial artifacts that Vladimir gives you, you start the Hunter Emissary mission. So fly to meet them and get one of them to join you. It makes the story mission a lot quicker because you only have one enemy to fight, not two. Plus you have someone to help you divide the fire and help kill the Starborn. During the final artifact mission, there comes a point where you go into a manufacturing facility. This is where I said to get the Digikey because you can skip all the defenses by hacking into a master level door and then either turning the robots and the turrets on your side, or you can disable them if you'd like. It makes clearing that Starborns a lot easier. Then you do a couple more fights and you get to where you talk with the emissary or the hunter, whichever one is your enemy this round. I save my game right before I go into that. I pop that persuasion improvement consumable, and then I talk to them. I do this because you can persuade them to just give you the artifacts. This avoids an unnecessary fight. You can save 5 or 10 minutes by persuading them to just give you the artifacts. However, the downside is you don't get their weapon, but if you have a good enough weapon, you don't need it. It is nice, but it's not necessary. So now that you have the final artifact, you're moving to the second portion of the new game experience, which is all the temples and gathering all 24 powers. So to do this, you have to talk to Vladimir and then go to whatever planet it is, go and run to the temple, get the power, and then fast travel back to Vladimir, and you repeat this until you have all the powers. There are a couple tips that I have that I've learned over my 5 runs that should help speed this along. The first one is whenever you're running to a temple on the planet, once you land, you can look around real quick and you can see the temple most times. There are some planets that either have a sandstorm or it's snowing or there's trees and you can't see it. So taking a look while you land can save you a bunch of time. Also, this is why I said to buy some amp or some other movement improvement consumables, because you're going to be walking a lot. Amp helps speed that along by a 25% movement speed. So over the course of my 5 new game runs, I've noticed that there is usually a core set of systems that have temples. Here's a list of common core systems that I found. So what I do is I fast travel between these list of core systems. These core systems usually center around the Sol or Alpha Centauri systems, and they usually have at least one, if not more, temples. Once I hit all these common ones, then I start going to Vladimir to get the remainders, because the remainder planets, they vary. There's always like a core group that might be half of them. The remaining systems that have temples always vary. So in essence, this is Starfield's new Game Plus experience. You get all the artifacts first while having a good gun that will carry you throughout the whole run. You will recruit either the emissary or the hunter to help you fight other Starborn as you get to the final artifact. Once you're at the final artifact, you will use persuasion consumables to increase your chance to just persuade the emissary or the hunter to hand over their artifacts. Once you have the artifacts, you'll fast travel to the core systems that commonly have temples. Once you exhaust this list of core systems, you'll then fast travel to Vladimir and get one temple at a time until you've been to all 24 temples. Then at that point, you will then just fast travel to your ship, build the armillary, then you'll power up the grav drive, and then travel to Unity, just to repeat the whole process over again. In short, it takes about 3.5 to 4 hours. As you get more and more experience, you'll likely hit the 3.5 hour mark. So I'm curious, comment below on how long it takes you to do each of your new game runs. And also, let me know if you find any other shortcuts. If you enjoyed this video and learned a thing or two, please consider subscribing so you can be notified of any other future Starfield videos. I'll see you in the next video.